If you have around $200 to spend and you want to start making proper coffee at home, this Cofibrews espresso machine and grinder set is a very solid first espresso setup. The price is friendly, and you get the full experience from grinding fresh beans, pulling your shot, all the way to steaming milk and making your own cafe-style drinks at home. Let me start with the grinder. This Cofibrews grinder is an electric coffee grinder with a 40mm conical Burr set. It costs around $100, so it is in the same price range as a lot of hand grinders, but it does the grinding for you with almost no effort. On top, there is a clear hopper that holds about half a pound of beans, which is plenty for home use. At the bottom of the hopper, there is a small lid. When it is closed, beans will not drop into the burrs, so you can swap beans or remove the hopper for cleaning without chasing beans around the counter. If you prefer single dosing, just weigh the beans before grinding. There is also a bellows on top. After grinding, give it a few presses to blow out the leftover grounds and cut down retention. Twist the hopper to adjust the grind size. The numbers are easy to see. You get 45 steps in total, with markings for different brew methods, so beginners can start in the suggested range and fine-tune from there. The touch screen lets you switch modes and set the grind time, and there is a physical start button underneath. The outer shell is metal, and some parts are plastic, which is normal at this price. The metal dosing cup is a nice touch because it helps reduce static, so the grounds do not cling to the sides as much. On the front, there is a height-adjustable portafilter holder. It works well with the matching Cofibrews portafilter, but some other portafilters do not fit perfectly, so you can also remove the holder and grind directly into the metal catch cup. The ground chute can be taken off for cleaning. If you look inside the chute, you will see a small needle. That is a plasma generator that helps reduce static. Seeing an anti-static feature at this price point was honestly a nice surprise. Under the chute, there is a removable tray to catch stray grounds. You can slide a coffee scale under the chute and grind straight into a cup while weighing, which feels very practical in daily use. Inside, it uses 40mm stainless steel conical burrs. The design and geometry are similar to what you see in many entry-level electric grinders. It grinds fast enough, can go fine for espresso, and can also do filter coffee without a problem. Accessing the burrs is simple. Twist the hopper off and lift out the upper burr for cleaning. If you grind a lot of dark roast, a quick deep clean every week or two with a brush and a vacuum is enough, and the process is beginner-friendly. If the hopper is not seated correctly, the grinder will not run and shows an E3 error on the screen as a basic safety feature. The grinder has 3 main modes. Cup mode lets you pick 2 to 12 cups and estimates the grinding time for drip or cold brew. Grind by time mode lets you adjust in 0.5 second steps and stops automatically, which is handy for espresso. Manual mode grinds for as long as you hold the button, which is good for topping up, or if you prefer full manual control. Because timed grinding is never perfect, the way I use it is to weigh the beans first, grind them, and note roughly how many seconds it took for, say, 14 grams. Next time, if I want to use timed mode, I set it close to that number as a starting point. The design and user experience of this grinder are very decent, and in actual use it has performed a bit better than expected for this price range. Now let's move on to the Cofibrews espresso machine. It is very compact, so it works well in small kitchens, or on a tight counter. When you pair it with the grinder, it really looks and feels like a matching set. With any new machine, it helps to first run a few cups of water through both the brew head and the steam wand. After that, you should not notice plastic smell or any weird taste. The outer shell has a metal layer, which gives it a more solid feel. On the front, there is a simple touch display with a few buttons. The water tank is at the back and can be pulled out completely to fill or clean. The capacity is about 1.3 liters, which is plenty for several shots a day at home. The drip tray is on the smaller side, so it needs to be emptied more often. The rubber mat on top is nice though. On a compact vibration pump machine like this, there is usually some vibration during a shot, and the non-slip mat helps keep the cup stable instead of sliding around. When you turn it on, the icons flash while it is heating up. In my test, it took about 45 seconds from power on to ready. In brew mode, opening the steam knob sends hot water out of the steam wand. In steam mode, the same knob controls the steam. The wand has a single hole tip, like many entry-level machines. The steam is not super powerful, but it is more than enough for home milk drinks and easier for beginners to handle. The main controls are auto single shot and double shot, plus a manual button that you press once to start and press again to stop. There is a short pre-infusion before full pressure extraction. There is also a descaling button and a dedicated steam button. This is a single thermoblock machine, so it needs time to switch from brewing to steaming. It takes about 30 seconds to switch, which is very acceptable for an entry-level machine. Overall, the logic is very similar to other beginner-friendly espresso machines you may have seen. For accessories, you get a 51mm portafilter, pressurized single and double baskets, and a simple scoop with a tamping end. That is a very standard bundle for a small entry-level espresso machine. Now let's pair the Cofibrews grinder with the espresso machine and pull a shot. The stock double basket holds around 14 grams of coffee. On the grinder, the grind is set in the espresso range, using setting 9 as a starting point. Because this is a pressurized basket, you can grind a bit coarser than you would for a non-pressurized basket, which is one reason pressurized baskets are very beginner-friendly. I highly recommend getting a 51mm dosing ring. It keeps things tidy and makes the whole prep process easier. For puck prep, just give the portafilter a gentle tap to settle the grounds, then use the back of the scoop to level the surface. A simple puck prep like this is enough to get started. This espresso machine has a short pre-infusion. At the beginning of the shot, it releases a small amount of water to soak the puck, then switches to full pressure extraction. As long as the dose is roughly right and the beans are fresh, it is not hard to get a shot that looks decent. It is better to enjoy the process first, instead of stressing over every extraction variable on day one. The auto single and double shot buttons have preset times, but you can long press to program your own, or just stop the shot manually once you reach the amount of espresso you want. Over the past few days, this setup has pulled quite a few shots. The coffee comes out hot, not lukewarm, and for 1 or 2 shots back to back, the temperature feels stable enough. Drinking the espresso straight, it is clearly better than instant coffee or most capsule machines at a similar price. Diluted with hot water for an Americano, or used as the base for milk drinks, it works well. Now let's check the steaming performance. First, pull an espresso shot to use as the base. After the shot finishes, switch to steam mode and wait about 30 seconds for the machine to heat up. Before steaming milk, open the knob and purge a bit of steam into the drip tray to get rid of the water in the wand. I'm using about 200 milliliters of cold milk, and you should always start with cold milk. Insert the steam wand near the spout side and tilt the jug to around the 3 o'clock position. At the start, keep the tip just under the surface so air can slowly enter the milk. You will hear a louder hissing sound at this stage. The wand has a single hole tip, which is forgiving for beginners. The steam is strong enough for a small jug, but not so strong that it is hard to control. As the milk rises, lower the jug slightly, so the tip goes a bit deeper, and let the milk spin to form a stable vortex. No need to move the wand up and down a lot, just keep that whirlpool going. I used to struggle with steaming milk, because I kept changing the steam wand angle the whole time. Later, I realized that once you create a good vortex, you just need to hold it there and let it spin. When the outside of the jug becomes too hot to hold comfortably, that is a good time to stop. The whole steaming process takes around 50 seconds. Right after steaming, wipe the steam wand to remove any milk and purge it again for a second to keep it clean. The milk surface looks smooth and glossy. This texture is good enough for lattes, cappuccinos, and also for practicing some simple latte art at home. To be honest, if you are just getting into coffee and want to move up from instant capsules or a moka pot to a setup where you grind your own beans and steam your own milk, this combo offers very good value. The grinder and the machine are both easy to use and cover the basic features you need, so you can spend more time practicing and dialing in your taste instead of fighting with the gear. If you are buying coffee at a cafe every day, using this set at home, you can probably earn back the cost in a few months. Along the way, you also get a much better sense of what kind of coffee you actually enjoy. I hope this video is helpful. If you have any questions about these two machines, feel free to leave a comment, and I will see you in the next one.